right, let's kick things off. So Frank, you obviously work at Facebook. Tell us, like, what are some of the trends you're seeing with Facebook today overall?
Yeah. So I run the Southwest region of Facebook Advertising's e-commerce division. There's a couple big trends I think we've seen anchored around kind of performance marketers of Facebook lately. Without sounding like a broken record, mobile and video have been absolutely amazing for many marketers. And we know that mobile is the preferred channel for many, many advertisers. However, the combination of direct response or performance video and mobile has been the real kind of catalyst for many of our clients. And so in the last year, I think direct response video has grown 4x on our platform.
It's amazing.
And I just think performance marketers love the notion of motion to help sell products. And so that's one kind of trend.
So now getting more into like the subscription world and e-commerce, what are some of the trends you're seeing currently with regards to subscription and e-commerce on the platform?
Yeah, so on subscription e-com, I think what we've seen a lot in the last few months is they've done a really good job storytelling in their creatives. Video has been a really effective channel, not just direct response video like I was mentioning earlier, but just video broadly, has been a really good kind of mechanism to tell your story in a real elegant way, to explain exactly who you are, what you represent. And so that's been really cool on one side. Another thing that we talk about is, you guys have probably seen there's been a lot of unboxing ads, which is cool. Like I love those ads in that it provides a lot of delight when you get to open your box and see what you got for the month. But we do also challenge our customers to think beyond the box.
Yeah, I always think, when I think of subscription, I think of commitment. I think that you have to gain the trust of the consumer to make a commitment to your product or service. Yeah. And commitment, obviously you need trust for that commitment. So I think having a cause attached to your brand, having a purpose to what you're doing, to why you're on the newsfeed, I think is really, really important. And obviously, managing the expectations of these consumers. Obviously, once they join, your subscription, they're a part of you. It's very personal. So how do you customize that journey to really provide the best possible experience? And I always talk about what's really important to me when I join a subscription. I always talk about marketing, not the products in the box, but how do you market the experience? It's subscription, unlike regular e-commerce, it's an experience that you're marketing. It's not just, here we're selling you a box of stuff, here we're selling you this. It's literally, every month or every quarter, they're getting something new usually, or they're getting something cool. And how do you manage that experience and make sure that they're excited to be a part of your subscription? And how do you make a community around that? I think the community and the experience are two things that, really aren't talked about when it comes to paid ads.
Yeah.
How do you, obviously the reason why Facebook is such a powerful mechanism, because your ads are like a community. When you post an ad, you have other people in the community commenting and sharing their thoughts. Some of the best ideas I've gone over the years. I've been running Facebook ads since college in 2007 when it was Facebook Flyers, a long time ago.
Did you just say Facebook Flyers?
Yeah, no,
amazing.
I know that's a random word that comes in way back, but the coolest part was that this is a community, and I've gotten some of the best ad ideas ever just from reading the comments every day. I go in and read the comments, and I just be like, wow, that's how people feel about this experience. And I think I encourage everyone here, if you're not already reading the comments, that's going to be your best user research you could ever do, when it comes to customer acquisition.
Yeah, right. It's a cool point.
How are influencers being used to help subscription marketers in their marketing strategy? How is that integration or that hand-holding working? How do you see that on a big picture?
Yeah, so it definitely is an effective channel. In my neck of the woods, so I'm based in Los Angeles, we actually have a lot of celebrities and creators partnering with businesses to help kind of showcase products. We also have a lot of kind of celebrity-backed startups. So you have Jessica Alba with the Honest Company, or Kate Hudson and Fabletics, or Sarah Michelle Gellar and Foodsters. And so obviously those types of celebrities have tremendous platforms and big reach to kind of amplify their brands. But then you also have these influencers that are really effective in kind of helping merchandise products for brands they partner with. And in fact, you could say that some of these influencers or creators that have tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of followers are actually better equipped because oftentimes their followers are much more concentrated for a particular subject. So for example, if you work with like mommy bloggers or fashion influencers, there's a really high probability that the concentration of their followers are geared towards, moms that are interested in what she has to offer or folks that are interested in fashion. So it is definitely a good mechanism and a channel. In fact, as a brand, I think the way brands look at it is it's a great way to extend the reach of the core message that you're trying to get out to market. You're getting in front of an audience that you typically wouldn't. You do a lot of influencer marketing campaigns, right? Can you share?
Yeah, totally. So what's really important with influencers to really understand there's different types of influencers. There's obviously your micro influencers, which are, between 100 and 500, 1,000 followers. There's your obviously big brand influencers. And then there's, under the 100,000 mark, you have your ambassadors. And the biggest value that we get out of these partnerships when we, set these partnerships up with the companies we work with is the UGC. UGC is like gold to like all the brands we work with. It's like the fuel of the fire when it comes to Facebook advertising. You're able to gather all this amazing UGC, user-generated content around your brand, and you're able to create what you call mashups. That's, we've segmented pretty much all of our best creative types for video, and we refer to as the UGC mashup is the one of the top, along with the intro video, one of the top videos to use in your prospecting campaigns, showing people, real human beings, actually using your product or service and selling the experience. This is me inside. The experience is, in my opinion, the most transparent and number one way to sell a product on Facebook. So when I think of influencer strategy, I think of, whether it's partnering with a big influencer, whether it's partnering with, 30 or 40 ambassadors just to get that UGC to be able to start doing those mashups. I think that's the number one importance, of really growing a subscription brand on the platform.
Is that marketing strategy part and parcel to every single engagement Mute6 has? Like, is that very much a part of the overall program for every client?
Yeah, totally. It's just being able to build a systematic process to continuously get more UGC and really start partnering, having these deep integrations. Those are what makes the best ads. And I think you look at some of the brands that really do the best. You look at the FabFitFuns of the world. They do amazing. They have amazing partnerships, and they're not just working with influencers and saying, hey, post for me. No, they're having influencers create content at scale that they're then turning into an ad and amplifying.
Interesting. I feel like I'm interviewing you.
When I was talking to you a couple weeks ago, Frank, you were telling me that a lot of brands are starting to make IG stories work at scale for customer acquisition. What that means is someone clicking an IG story or swiping up and actually going to a website, making a purchase. Tell us a little more about some of the brands that are gaining traction, how advertisers are using Instagram stories. Yeah. Like, what are you seeing in the market? Because you're right in the weeds there, and I think that's really interesting.
Yeah. So IG stories is doing well for us. It really is. Yeah. It's the fastest growing product in Facebook history. We have over 300 million daily active users of the product today, or probably more at this point. But of all the content being consumed in IG and Instagram stories, 40% is video. And of all the video, more than half, 60% is sound on. So it's just a great canvas for marketers to use to tell your story. Remember I said earlier how the subscription kind of consumer journey is much more complicated and it's longer. So, IG Stories has been a great platform, especially with the sound on, to explain what you do, how it works, in a really engaging way. And I'll give you an example. Textile, who's a partner that we work with, Textile runs Just Fab and Fabletics, and they just launched a brand new company, a new lingerie line called Savage X Fenty. It's in collaboration with Rihanna. And they came out really strong. Their positioning in the market of kind of lingerie is really differentiated. They're really going after a broader market around diversity. And so they use Instagram stories really effectively to get that message out. So leading up to the launch, they would seed some content around the fact that it's coming. Obviously, by the way, they have Rihanna as like their brand ambassador, and she's just got this tremendous reach on Instagram. So it's been great for them to really kind of get that brand out there. Stories has been so effective on Instagram. If you haven't noticed already, we are seeding it out to different kind of apps around Facebook Inc. So Facebook has this kind of a stories element, WhatsApp, Messenger. And so I'd urge you guys to stay very close to the platform of stories, because we're very bullish on it.
Everyone in the audience is really trying to figure out how does this integrate with their specific business.
Yeah. So first off, we're obviously very enthusiastic about the subscription category. There was a McKinsey study a few months ago that stated that 40% of consumers cancel their subscriptions within the first few months. And that doesn't work on the economics side on a continuity program. I mean, what do you think?
So there's two thoughts that come to mind just on the topic of subscription on Facebook. Number one, understanding data. Data is 9/10 of the game. What can you pay for a new subscriber? What can you pay on a prospecting campaign? What can you pay on a win-back campaign? What can you pay for each one of these specific areas of Facebook advertising? And using some form of predictive analytics to be able to predict. Obviously you might be starting a new brand, but you can predict based on this data, we're expecting this LTV. LTV is one of the hardest things to both measure and predict, but I think that the best brands are using some form of predictive analytics to really figure out like how long these customers from this cohort are going to be on board, and using, and then number two, leading with your best. I talk about that a lot, is just like if you have a lot of data on boxes, bringing people in with your best performing box, if you're able to from a supply chain perspective, that's always the best, because you never want to lead with a box that's unproven or lead with something that's just unproven, because then you obviously risk that person churning out. And last but not least, I talk about this a lot, is scarcity. Don't give away too much product. How do you keep that scarcity element? How do you keep people wanting more? I see a lot of brands just sending out a lot of product each month, just trying to fulfill a need. All right, more product this month, more product that month. Start thinking about how do you keep that scarcity, that need really high? How do you keep them wanting more? Like, I want more product. I didn't get enough, of this product this month. I didn't get enough soap. I didn't get this, and that's going to keep people on board a lot longer. So how do you be very thoughtful about the amount of product that you're sending people, because that's what's going to keep people on board a lot longer.
Yeah, good point.
Cool. So moving on to the last segment, we have some example ads, as Frank alluded to. We're going to be showing, I guess, the Fendi video.
Savage X Fendi. We'll show you an example. I think it's a great example of them seeding content before the launch.
Yep. And we also have Abby and Finn, which is a diaper subscription brand.
My name is Slick Motherfucking Woods, and we're shooting lingerie for Motherfucking Rihanna, so it's sexy. And it's just sick because the casting with Rihanna shit is always so diverse and always so different. Especially with lingerie, I knew for a fact it was going to be some plus size girls here, and I knew for a fact there was going to be some different type of girls here. Right now I'm wearing a pink lace set by Rihanna.
And then you have Rihanna. So real quick, before you play that one, it's funny, for those of you guys that have been in digital for 15 plus years, if I think about performance marketing back in the day, you would have seen dancing pigs for a Lower My Bills ad on MSN.com's homepage as a way to kind of capture the attention for the audience. And I see an ad like the Savage X Fenty one, and we've just come so far in terms of our ability to storytell. And obviously technology has helped us, and the videos are much more elegant. And but it's just, we've gone so far away from throwing this notion of buy so frequently in your face. And so, I don't know, I'm just a big fan of what, Savage X is doing on the marketing strategy.
One other thing to point out in that ad, which I think is really cool, is they create a native experience. So, when you're looking at Instagram stories, people can automatically tell when it's an ad. And I'm sure, similar to my story, when they see an ad, they just roll over it, And so I think, the key thing there is that it looks native. It doesn't look like an ad. So they're actually going to stop and actually engage with it. And I think whether you're on Instagram stories, whether you're on Facebook, Instagram, just goes without saying, making creative native experiences around your creative it's 9/10 of the game, because people are going to engage more if it looks native to the platform.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so moving on, I guess, to the next one, Abby and Finn. this is what we call an intro video. Obviously, it's not high-end production. It was, for those of you that say that video requires a huge investment, it's just not the case. And you could create some really compelling content that spurs action, that spurs someone to really stop what they're doing and do something positively to your brand. You don't need to really invest a ton of cash in that. We use it a lot in prospecting ads. We actually, even we'll test it out we'll cut it up just for Instagram stories, a similar video. And it converts really well. We know that people are not gonna make a decision right away. Like obviously, even like a diaper subscription, it requires a sense of commitment. Like it requires someone to commit to this long term. So we go into this knowing that they'll see an intro video, then they'll see maybe down funnel, maybe a piece of press, then they'll see maybe a UGC mashup, then they'll get an actual, maybe like a carousel ad and actually make a purchase. So we go into these like content creation conversations, these discussions internally and really try and figure out what is that customer journey. That journey to actually making a commitment, I think is very important, and we're always thinking like, how would I buy in that journey? How would our friends buy? And that's kind of how we mold up, the ideas that we center around when we create content.
Yeah, the thing I liked most about that ad is it explained how the model worked, right? And it was very, very apparent. So I thought that was a pretty good example.
Very simplistic. You know what you're getting, you know your expectations, and boom, done. So cool. That's pretty much just wrapping things up. That's pretty much our presentation, Frank. Before we set sail, do you have any follow-up thoughts you want to share with the audience?
I have a request. I'd love to do a quick Instagram story selfie with you guys. And if you guys can scream out SubSummit, is that Subscription Summit or SubSummit? What's the preference?
It's SubSummit.
SubSummit. I know it's silly, but sorry. All right, ready? Come on, get up, Steve. All right. Everybody on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. SubSummit. I'm such a nerd. All right. Thanks, guys.